Drachna hovered silently above Earth, his four eyes blinking in sync as his data pad filled with notes about the humans below. He was a scientist of the Zephyr species, a species that prized caution, logic, and deliberate thought. For centuries, they had studied countless life forms across the galaxy, but humans were different. Drachna's vessel, cloaked in a high orbit, allowed him a perfect view of the bizarre species on the planet below. He had been assigned here for one reason: assess humanity's potential threat to the galaxy. Initial reports painted a disturbing picture. Humans waged wars on themselves, willingly engaged in reckless exploration, and held a puzzling mix of compassion and aggression. Drachna felt unsettled, his antennae twitching with skepticism. Why would any species willingly put themselves in danger? On his first day observing humans closely, he set up his viewing screens on a small Earth settlement, a city, they called it. Here, he witnessed his first enigma. A building caught fire. Instead of fleeing, however, a team of humans clad in bright, protective suits rushed inside, risking their lives to save others trapped within. Drachna's jaw dropped slightly in astonishment. His species would never risk their own for the survival of a few. It was illogical, inefficient. Yet, these humans seemed driven, almost compelled, by something beyond logic. Intrigued, he recorded his findings. Humans display unorthodox bravery, often bordering on recklessness. Self-sacrifice appears deeply embedded in their society. As night fell, Drachna watched another scene unfold. A group of humans had gathered in the street, tossing a small orange ball through a hoop. They shouted and laughed, celebrating whenever one of them succeeded. Drachna could not comprehend the point of the game. No resources were exchanged, and no immediate survival needs were met. Yet, the humans appeared overjoyed, unified in this seemingly purposeless activity. Humans engage in inexplicable social bonding rituals that defy logical reasoning, he muttered into his recording device. Behavior likely rooted in complex emotional frameworks. Drachna's report to Captain Selen was perplexed and perhaps a bit unsettled. These humans didn't just live, they thrived on chaos, camaraderie, and courage. The captain's only response was brief: "Continue your observations." As Drachna peered down at Earth, he wondered if humanity's insanity was a flaw or, somehow, an asset. Either way, he sensed that studying them would be unlike anything he had encountered before. Drachna's observations led him to the heart of a human event they called a science fair. Here, he expected logical inventions, yet his assumptions were quickly challenged. Humans bustled around displaying contraptions that ranged from practical to outright bizarre. He fixated on a pair of teenagers hovering over a rocket-powered skateboard, preparing for a demonstration. The device sputtered to life with sparks and flame, and the young inventor stepped on it without hesitation. A sudden burst, a wild spin, and he was catapulted a short distance before tumbling to the ground with a grin. Drachna winced, antennae twitching with apprehension. Was this truly a species capable of interstellar travel? Despite the failure and minor injury, the young inventor laughed as his peers cheered, undeterred and apparently thrilled by the chaos. Humans exhibit a strange tolerance, even enthusiasm, for failure and danger in the pursuit of progress, Drachna noted, puzzled. Their willingness to risk injury for unproven ideas is illogical and remarkably inefficient. As the day continued, Drachna's curiosity deepened. He next encountered Sarah, an eager young scientist at the fair. She demonstrated her prototype for an interstellar radio, hoping it would one day enable communication across galaxies. Sarah explained that she was inspired by humanity's dream of connecting with other life, of reaching beyond the stars. Her ambition was bold, bordering on impractical, yet she spoke with a conviction that intrigued him. Humans are motivated by ideals rather than necessity, Drachna recorded, a hint of awe in his voice. They pursue objectives driven by emotion as much as by logic. Later, wandering through the nearby town, Drachna stumbled upon another human, Ollie, working on an enormous mural painted across a crumbling wall. Vibrant colors and strange, twisting shapes splashed across the surface, forming a chaotic yet mesmerizing image. Ollie spoke with passion about art as a means of resistance, a way of expressing struggles and triumphs. To Drachna, it was astonishing. In his species, every act served a practical purpose. Creating for expression alone was unthinkable. Humans create simply to communicate feelings, even to provoke, Drachna noted. An expression of the internal rather than external. As he compiled his findings that night, Drachna felt a new stirring, an appreciation, perhaps. These humans were not bound by rigid logic. Their chaos was deliberate, a unique drive that powered both their innovation and their resilience. It was, as he noted with a hint of respect, a productive insanity. Drachna's study of humanity continued, but nothing had prepared him for what he witnessed next. A massive earthquake struck a densely populated city, triggering a surge of devastation. His observational screens flickered to life, capturing humans rushing through chaotic streets. Despite his species' rule to remain impartial, he found himself gripped by what he saw. Among the first responders was Lucas, a young human with no formal rescue training, yet he plunged into the wreckage to pull survivors from collapsed buildings. His clothing was torn, and his face smeared with dirt, but he pushed forward, determined to reach every trapped person he could find. Drachna couldn't fathom this, risking his life repeatedly for strangers, with no tangible reward. For the Zephyr, the survival of one did not outweigh the survival of many. Self-sacrifice was not part of their doctrine. Humans demonstrate irrational levels of empathy, even for those with no genetic connection, he recorded, unable to look away. This behavior does not prioritize survival, yet it appears to grant them strength and resilience. He watched as Lucas stumbled, exhausted but unyielding, clutching the hand of a young child he had just rescued. The scene shook Drachna. He began to wonder if empathy itself might be a strength, not a flaw. Drachna's attention then turned to a makeshift clinic, where Jenna, a nurse, tended to the injured. She moved with practiced skill, her face pale but resolute as she cared for patients despite her own exhaustion. Drachna learned that she was not even receiving additional compensation for this volunteer work. To her, helping others was simply a duty. When Drachna asked her why she persisted, Jenna smiled softly. I don't know, really. But when you see people suffering, you help. It's what we do. The alien scientist's antennae twitched as he processed her words. In his culture, resources and efforts were allocated with precision, ensuring only the most essential tasks were addressed. But here was Jenna, sacrificing comfort and safety with no thought of personal gain. Drachna's report that night was conflicted. Human empathy creates a paradox. It is inefficient yet inspiring. Their compassion, though illogical by our standards, binds them in ways we cannot easily measure. For the first time, Drachna felt the edges of his own carefully structured beliefs begin to waver. Could it be that this intense, irrational compassion was a strength that allowed humans to thrive? They were, indeed, an anomaly, an unpredictable force that defied conventional survival instincts. A distress signal blared through Drachna's ship. Earth's defense systems had detected them. Within seconds, an alert message from the humans warned the unknown vessel to stand down or face retaliation. Drachna's heart pulsed with panic as his crew scrambled to cloak the ship. They had never been detected before. How had humans, with their unpredictable ways, managed to locate their advanced vessel? Drachna's screens filled with the tense scene on Earth, military forces rallying, Earth's defense system arming. At the center of it all was General Karov, a human military leader with a reputation for both fierce loyalty and unyielding bravery. His voice, transmitted through Earth's communication channels, was steady and firm. If you pose a threat to Earth, we will meet it head-on, he declared. Drachna marveled at the general's courage, but was unsettled by the humans' quick resort to aggression. This, he realized, was the side of humanity that struck fear into other species, their boundless drive to defend, even if it meant destruction. Drachna's team considered retreat, but he hesitated. He had seen enough of humanity to suspect they might not be as hostile as they seemed. Amid the mounting tension, another figure emerged on the screens, a young activist named Ariana. She stepped forward, a civilian unarmed and visibly vulnerable, her hands raised in a gesture of peace. Her voice was calm, yet carried conviction. "Please," she implored, addressing both the humans and the unidentified ship, "we have a chance to learn from each other. Let's not let fear drive us to violence." Drachna watched, captivated. Here was a human choosing diplomacy over aggression, risking her safety to mediate peace. For all their power and unpredictability, humans like Ariana showed a rare courage, the ability to choose understanding over conflict. It was a trait Drachna had never seen in any other species. Moved, Drachna opened communication. He assured Ariana and General Karov that his mission was purely observational, emphasizing the Zephyr's commitment to peaceful study. The general remained wary, but Ariana's calm and trust slowly bridged the tension. She arranged for a meeting, a first step toward peaceful contact. In his final report to Captain Selin, Drachna concluded, humans embody a paradoxical strength. Their courage can manifest as aggression or compassion, chaos or peace. Their so-called insanity may hold the key to resilience we have yet to understand. As his ship prepared to return, Drachna felt a profound respect for humanity's unpredictable nature. Humans were indeed a mystery, but perhaps that mystery was what made them remarkable.